If you're in the FGC and you want to make content out of this video, whether it's watching it on your live stream or making a YouTube video, go ahead. I'm just trying to grow my fighting game audience. All I ask is that you credit me and ask your viewers to subscribe to this channel, GamerFGC. Thanks. What's up guys, Gimmer the Video Game Scientist from VG Bootcamp here, and this is the ultimate starter guide for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. This video is not just for beginners. It's for seasoned fighting game players who are new to the game and looking to understand it on a fundamental level. If you're a player that already has a lot of hours in the beta, you should still watch because you'll learn a lot too. In this video, we're going to go through all the game mechanics, how everything works, combos, the basic back and forth you'll need to be aware of for neutral, and more. Before we get started, welcome to my new fighting game channel, GimmerFGC. If you want to see more high quality fighting game content, make sure and subscribe, like the video, and turn on those notifications. I've put hundreds of hours into all these awesome Tokon videos that are going to be coming out in quick succession. If you're a fighting game enthusiast, you're not going to regret subscribing. Thank you. Let's start with a quick overview of Marvel Tokon and its control system. This script was written during the open beta. Some of this might be outdated on launch. If so, I'll have a section in the description that lists all of those changes. Every character has a light, medium, and heavy attack, which comes with standing versions, crouch versions, and air versions. They also have link attacks you get by spamming a normal. These are the auto combos of the game. You can press M+H to throw, which you can also do in the air. And you can dash with the quick dash button or by pressing light and medium. Each character has a dedicated unique button for their unique attack. Each character's gameplay is based around the mechanics and the cool stuff they can do with their unique attack. Every character also has multiple skills that can be triggered with their skill button or by manual inputs, which of course do more damage. Each skill has 3 versions: light, medium, and the EX heavy version, which costs 25 skill gauge. There's an assist/assemble button which can be used to call assists. It can also be used in tandem with a light button to activate universal assemble mechanics.
Sufficient.
There's a tag button which can be used to tag into assist raw or after they're already on screen and doing something else. There's also a quick assemble button, and as of making this video, it looks like it's just a combination of the light plus assist button. This is how the devs recommend you do each controller layout. You can pause here to take a longer look. At the end of the day though, you should do whatever layout is most comfortable for you when it comes to your controller settings. Marvel Tokon is a 4v4 fighter with a shared vitality gauge that maxes out at 100k. Under the health bar is the assemble gauge, which can hold up to 3 stocks of assemble meter. For the most part, assemble meter builds slowly over time. At the bottom of the screen is your skill gauge, which can hold up to 150 meter. To win a game, you have to take 3 rounds. Here's the thing, in the very first round, you only start with 2 characters, 90,000 health, 1 assembly gauge, and 0 skill gauge, which starts with a capacity of 100 meter. So the goal of the early game is to do as much damage as possible to your opponent and set up Oki, while most importantly, unlocking the rest of your team while doing so. There's 3 ways to unlock a teammate. The first 2 are to knock the opponent through a soft wall into a stage transition, or knock the opponent into a hard wall for a wall splat. You can do this with certain skills, both on the ground and in the air. The link attack finisher, grounded throws, an assemble smash, grounded or airborne, and forward heavy while in a launch state. The third and last way to gain a character is to lose a round. Aww. Hard walls are located at the very end of either side of a stage. Every other wall is a soft wall. Some stages have 5 sections, so they have 4 soft walls and 2 hard walls. Some stages have 3 sections, so they have 2 soft walls and 2 hard walls. And Professor X's mansion has 1 section, so it has no soft walls. It's just 2 hard walls. When you unlock your third teammate,
I'm ready, Logan.
You gain 5,000 gray health, your health's max capacity goes up to 95k, you gain 1 assembly gauge, its max capacity goes up to 2, you gain 25 skill gauge, your skill gauge max capacity goes up to 125 meter, and you unlock your third teammate's assist attack.
On it.
When you unlock your fourth teammate, you gain another 5,000 gray health, your health's max capacity goes up to 100k, you gain 1 assembly gauge, its max capacity goes up to 3, you gain 25 skill meter, your skill gauge's max capacity goes up to 150 meter, and you unlock your fourth teammate's assist attack.
I'm on it. Getting started.
If you have a full team when you do a stage transition or wall splat, you still gain 1 assembly gauge, but instead of 25 skill meter, you gain 10. On a stage transition, the attacker always has enough frame advantage to put on pressure. Regardless of your team size, if you wall splat an opponent, you can either combo off it or let them slide to the bottom, in which case they have to stand in place, which leads to really strong Oki.
Be grateful to do.
If you do the wall splat really high in the air though,
Here, eviscerate.
they can air attack after about a second and a half. Skill gauge does not go up on a timer like the assembly gauge. You get it by hitting your opponent, making them block, or getting hit by your opponent, and then making you block. It goes up less on block though. And that's the basics of the game mechanics. Are you sick of trying to play the game you love and just see people on Twitter complain about it and moan 24/7? If this is you, then you should join the Gamers Lab Discord. Here, we foster a community focused on having a positive attitude towards getting better at the game, through sharing tech, strategies, and guides, as well as matchmaking. We also have character-specific discussions and a forum where you can discuss anything. If this sounds like a place you want to be a part of, join my Discord now. The link's in the description. Seriously though, we have categories for Street Fighter 6, Marvel Tokon, 2XKO, Rivals of Aether 2, Smash Melee, Smash Ultimate, and more. Let's move on to movement and blocking. Marvel Tokon runs at 60 frames per second. A frame is a unit of measurement for time. 1 frame is 1/60th of a second. 15 frames is 1/4 of a second. 30 frames is 1/2 of a second. 60 frames is 1 second, so on and so forth. If you hold forward, you'll move forward. If you hold backward, you'll move backward. Holding backwards makes it so if someone hits you, you'll do a stand block. Stand block can only guard against mid attacks and high attacks, aka overheads, but not low attacks. Hold down in any direction and you'll crouch. Holding down back will make you do a crouch block on hit. Crouch block can only guard against mid attacks and low attacks, but not high attacks, aka overheads. Most attacks in the game are mid attacks. Most low attacks are generally grounded moves that are quick and hard to react to. Most high attacks are generally a little slower and a bit easier to react to. So, if you're a beginner, it's a general rule of thumb that it's best to default to a crouch block when you're forced into a defensive position. And because most air normals are high attacks, if someone jumps or air dashes at you and you feel like you need to go on the defensive, it's best to default to a high block and then transition to a low block because they'll be grounded afterwards. When a player tries to trick another player into blocking low or high, but then does the opposite type of attack, this is called a high-low mix-up. Now, if you're walking backwards and someone jumps or air dashes over you, you'll start walking forward. If they then do an attack, it will hit you. This is called a cross-up. If one player tries to trick another into blocking left or right, but then ends up on the opposite side of them, this is called a left-right mix-up. It's more complicated than that, but you can only get better at blocking through practicing in real matches. So for now, if you're new, just follow what I just said and you'll start getting better through repetition. Back to movement. When you're grounded, you can press up to jump straight up forward to jump forward, and up back to jump backwards. And while airborne, you can press any direction of up and get an air jump in that direction. Press down and then up and you'll get a super jump, which makes you go higher vertically than a normal jump. While airborne, you can hold back, up back, or down back to air block. Air guarding blocks highs, mids, and lows, so you can only get hit by left-right mix-up. If you press forward twice, light plus medium, or the quick dash button, you'll dash forward, then go into this little skid. If you hold the input, you'll transfer to a run. If you press back twice, or back plus light plus medium, or back plus the quick dash, you'll dash backwards, which is generally slower than a forward dash, and it doesn't cancel into a run. You can cancel a back dash halfway through into a forward dash, or another back dash, which you can do over and over. Forward dashes can be canceled into attacks really quickly, around frame 5. Back dashes, it's a little bit slower, around frame 10. You can cancel both dashes into crouch around frame 10. You can repeat this action to help with movement at times. You can also crouch block out of a forward dash to advance with your guard. Back dash can be canceled in a jump around frame 10, whereas forward dashes can immediately be canceled in a jump. Dashing forward into a forward jump gives you a momentum boost. How far this boost is character specific. You can cancel jump into a forward air dash or a backward air dash. You can do it really close to the ground. This is sort of character specific, but for most characters you can cancel both air dashes into attacks around frames 12 to 15. Immediately canceling an air dash into an attack makes you go to the ground a little faster. You can't air dash after an air jump. and you can't air jump after an air dash. If an air attack is quick enough, you can, however, jump or air dash after it. At most heights, doing an air dash into a whiffed air normal will not give you enough time to do another attack. You might be able to squeak one through though. 99% of the cast can only do one air jump or air dash per air time. In general, forward air dashes are slightly longer distance-wise than back air dashes. And this is important, you cannot block on about frames 1 through 19 of your air dash. But you can frame 20 and on, as long as you don't press a button. All of this combined allows for really crisp and advanced movement in Marvel Tokon. Some characters have unique movement options. For example, Miss Marvel doesn't have an air dash, but her unique lets you fly across the screen. Danger has a manipulatable ground to air dash. Black Panther's unique has her jumping all over the screen like UMBC. Doom's dash makes him teleport and he can cross through opponents with it. Blade's unique tracks and pulls him into the opponent. Storm's unique is literally gusts of wind that can move her around. Star-Lord has a skill that's this little hop. Penny can stick to the wall. Spider-Man can shoot his web and fly in like 800 different directions. Green Goblin has his glider. A bunch of characters can hold up to fly, and some characters have multi-directional air dashes. For Pete's sake, Iron Man can like cancel all of his attacks into his fly. So yeah, the game has a lot of movement options, and it's really cool. Now that we know how movement works, let's go through the different attack types. Marvel Tokon has normals, unique attacks, skills, link attacks, assists, assemble attacks, super skills, ultra skills, and more. But let's start with the basics. Normals. Like most tag fighters, Marvel Tokon has 3 basic attack buttons: light, medium, and heavy. If you're playing on pad, it's usually these 3 buttons here. And on arcade stick, it's usually the first 3 buttons on the top row. On the ground, these produce 6 basic attacks: stand light, stand medium, and stand heavy. And if you're crouching, crouch light, crouch medium, and crouch heavy. All normals can be cancelled on hit into jump. These normals are Gatling attacks, aka the Magic Series, aka chain combos, aka target combos, whatever you want to call it. But this is an Arc Sys game, so I'm going to call them Gatling attacks. What's important is that on hit and block, they can be cancelled into each other, and they follow a hierarchy from light to medium to heavy. This can feel a bit complicated, but bear with me. Both light attacks can be cancelled into the opposite light attack, as well as medium and heavy attacks. Both medium attacks can be cancelled into the opposite medium attack, as well as all heavy attacks. And both heavy attacks can be cancelled into each other. There's a 4 normal attack limit on one Gatling string. So if you do, let's say, stand light into crouch light into stand medium into crouch medium, you cannot cancel into either heavy attack. You can, however, cancel into skills, uniques, assists, etc., because the Gatling rules only apply to grounded normals. You can only use one of each normal per string. So if you try to do a stand light into a stand medium, into a crouch medium, into a stand medium, the stand medium won't come out. The exception that breaks the rule is that you can do 2 variations of either light attack in any order before moving on to medium or heavy. And you can cancel crouch light into itself once. This is where link attacks, aka auto combos, come into play. Link attacks follow their own hierarchy, but it's pretty simple once you understand the logic behind it. There are 3 types of link attacks: light, medium, and heavy. The light link attack goes from any variation of light into standing light, which activates the link unique, and the last standing light, which brings in your teammates, and then you hit them with one of your skills. If you're next to a wall, it'll cause the wall break or a wall splat. Note, if you have a full team, 150 skill gauge, and your opponent is 1 round away from winning the game, pressing light a 5th time will activate your character's Tokon Assemble, which does massive damage. It's not the only way to do a Tokon Assemble, but we'll get to that later. If you start a string with either medium attack and do a standing medium twice in that string, it will activate the link unique. Doing standing medium again will do a specific skill, and doing standing medium again after that will activate your super skill, unless of course you don't have enough meter to do it. And on block, your super skill will not come out unless you activate it manually. If you start a string with either heavy attack and you do a standing heavy twice in that string, it will activate Link Unique. Doing standing heavy again will activate a specific skill, and doing standing heavy again after that will activate your ultimate skill. In a heavy Link attack, you can press forward heavy after the Link Unique. You'll do a heavy EX version of the skill instead, and you can follow up with the ultimate skill after as well. Link attacks can only be activated with the normal type you start with. So if you go from light to standing medium, and then press standing medium again, it won't come out. That being said, once a Link Unique happens, you can swap between any of the auto combo enders you want. So you can do light, 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 get the Link Unique, and then mash standing heavy to transfer to the heavy version. By the way, Link Unique is technically a normal, and it can be canceled into unique, skills, assists, etc. The most important thing about Link Unique is that it adds 5 stocks to your combo limit gauge, which severely limits your combos. We'll get more to that later though in the combo section. Before we move on to air normals, I want to briefly talk about throws. If you press medium plus heavy, your character will activate a throw. If you're far, you'll run over to your opponent and grab him. The actual throw animation itself takes 5 frames to activate. You can also air grab, which also takes 5 frames to activate. Air throws follow your character's momentum. And for both, you can throw people forwards or backwards. If it isn't obvious already, throws cannot be blocked. If someone tries to throw you and you press medium and heavy at the beginning of the throw, it'll cause a throw break, which separates the players and resets back to neutral. An air throw escape doesn't allow you to act until you touch the ground, no matter how high up. Grounded throws can't grab airborne opponents, and air throws can't grab grounded opponents. Air throws also have 10 frames of landing lag, which you can't really escape, even if you activate the throw really high in the air. Throws are sort of reactable at a certain distance though, so you need to be aware of that. Light attacks can be cancelled into throw. You can use this to mix your opponent up when they get too comfortable blocking. Be careful though, there's built-in throw protection on wake up and after block stun, so if they mash jab here, it'll beat your throw. By the way, as a side note, although grounded throws can be teched in place, forward and backwards, it seems like air throws force knockdown. Each character has 5 air normals: air light, air medium, air heavy, air forward heavy, aka their slam launcher blowback, and their air down heavy, aka their slam launcher knockdown. These are all high attacks, aka overheads, besides air light. Down heavies always knock the opponent into the ground into a knockdown. This leads to Oki and can also be comboed out of with an assist call, but we'll go over that later in the combo section. Air normals have no hierarchy, they can all be comboed into each other over and over again. With the exception that, if you do an air normal into itself, your character will track to the opponent and do a down heavy to knock them down. With light attacks, you can do 2 of them in a row before it does the knockdown. Just like grounded normals, air normals can be cancelled on hit into an air jump. This is generally used to extend combos. If your opponent is in a launch state, air normals activate differently. Mashing light does a combo before ending with your forward heavy, aka your slam launcher blowback. If you're close enough to a wall, it'll cause a wall break or a wall bounce. Mashing medium will do a quick combo into your down heavy, but instead of knocking them down to the ground, it'll cause a ground bounce, which you can solo combo off of. Mashing heavy does basically the same thing, but a little more damage. And if you do nothing, your character will just end it with a down heavy automatically. If you're mashing auto combo in this state, you cannot call an assist. If you jump cancel, you can call assist. If you're near a soft wall on a launch state and do a forward heavy, it'll break the wall and do a stage transition. If it's a hard wall, they'll bounce off, and you'll gain 1 assembly gauge. You'll gain 1 assembly gauge on the stage transition as well, like we talked about earlier. As far as I'm aware, there are 2 ways to activate a launch state. 1, hitting your opponent raw with a crouch heavy. 2, activating an assemble smash and bringing out your second character. We'll get to assemble smash later though. Before I move on, I want to talk about things that are universal across 99% of the cast when it comes to normals. Stand lights hit on frame 6, and for most of the cast, it's their fastest attack. Crouch lights hit on frame 7 and are low attacks. Stand mediums move the character forward. Crouch mediums are low attacks that knock the opponent into the air on hit. Stand heavies move the character forward. And crouch heavies are also short range attacks that knock the opponent into the air on hit. Crouch heavies are also the character's launcher that has some startup involved to aerial attacks. If you hit someone raw with a crouch heavy, you go into a launch state, which I just went over. And lastly, if you do a crouch heavy mid combo, you can press light, medium, or heavy, and your character will automatically jump and track to the opponent with that attack. Some characters have unique normals. In general, these moves cannot be canceled in the jump on hit. They need an assist to combo off them, and they're also negative on block. So you have to call an assist to be able to keep pressure going and not give up your turn, generally. Air lights hit on frame 6, and unlike the rest of the air normals, they are also mids, so they can be blocked high or low. I know that's a lot of information. Trust me, I hated writing it, but that's it for normals. Every character has a unique attack that's activated by pressing a unique button. Devs try to build their kit around the unique attacks. Uniques are, and this might surprise you, incredibly unique. Just to name a few, Captain America throws his shield at you and can kick it back at you over and over again, which isn't just cool, it's funny. Magneto throws metal at you, which magnetizes the stage and enhances some of his moves. Magic can summon a portal, which he can do like a million things out of. Star-Lord has 4 different guns he can cycle through, all with really cool and unique properties. Green Goblin has a glider he can call, do a million things with, and even hit himself with. Shoutouts to the Spider-Man movie. Hell, Penny Parker has 8 different little mini robots that she can summon at random, and they all do something different. Iron Man shoots his repulsor blast. Okay, so maybe that one isn't that interesting, but he can cancel it into fly, which he can do with all his other moves. But yeah, unique attacks are really cool, and I think it's really cool that ArcSys added this to the game. You can tell they put a lot of love into every single character. There's 20 of them, and they're very complicated, so shout outs to ArcSys for this. This is awesome. Next, each character has about 4 skills that they can activate with the quick skill button. You got your neutral skill, your back skill, your down skill, and your forward skill. Each skill has a medium and heavy EX version. Some skills can be done in the air. To get the medium version, you press the control stick direction plus the skill button plus the medium button. And for the heavy version, you press the control stick direction plus the skill button plus the heavy button. Heavy EX skills cost 25 skill gauge. And of course, you can also use motion inputs for skills with a light, medium, and heavy buttons. Motion inputs are optimal because they do more damage. But if you're new, you should just stick to the easy versions for now. Now, the difference between light, medium, and heavy versions is character and skill dependent, but a lot of them follow a similar dynamic. For example, the light version might be quicker and cover more distance, but you can't combo off it solo. And it's punishable on block, so you gotta do an assemble rush to protect yourself, which costs assembly gauge. Whereas the medium one is slower, covers less distance, but you can combo off it solo on hit. And it's minus on block, but it's safe enough where they can't punish you. And then the heavy EX version combines the best of both, where it's fast, covers a lot of distance, can be comboed off solo, and it might even be plus on block. Another good example is projectiles. For some characters, the light version will come out quicker, but it'll be less active. Whereas the medium version comes out slower, but lasts longer. And the heavy EX version comes out quickly and lasts longer. Or like the light version goes straight, the medium version goes up and vertical, and the EX version does both. Another thing that's important about skills is that a lot of characters have an anti-air skill that has early startup invul to air attacks. And for a lot of them, the EX version can be comboed out of solo. On that note, if you're doing a combo in the air, most characters have to do the heavy EX version of a skill if they want to continue the combo solo. We'll talk about that in the combo section. Next, let's talk about super skills, ultimate skills, and the Tokon assemble mechanic. Super skills are activated by pressing unique or the quick skill button, or quarter circle forward, medium plus heavy, and they cost 50 skill gauge. Most do about 22k damage raw. Most super skills do not gain invulnerability until about frame 4. This means you cannot do it on wake up if someone does a melee attack, or you'll get hit. And you'll also get hit if you try to mash it in between really tight block strings. But if there's a big enough hole in the block string, they can squeak through. How long the invul lasts after the screen freeze is dependent on the attack. And how good a super skill is dependent on the range of the attack and how much invul it has. Some are kind of trash, while others are really good. Some can also be done in the air, but as a general rule, they lose their invulnerability. Doing the motion input gives about 10% extra damage. A lot of characters have skills that specifically can cancel into super skills. Oh, and most importantly, you can do a super assemble at the end of a super skill by pressing the direction of the teammate you want, plus the assemble button. It costs 50 skill gauge, 1 assemble gauge, and your teammate will come in and do their super skill after yours. You can do this up to 3 times if you have enough teammates, and meter. Ultimate skills are activated by pressing forward plus unique plus quick skill, or half circle back into forward medium plus heavy, and costs 100 skill gauge. Ultimate skills are invulnerable on frame 1, so you can wake up with them on media attacks. They'll also come out in the middle of block strings no matter what, even if there's a single frame hole. Most do about 35k raw, and the motion input does about 5% more overall damage. Just like super skills, how good an ultimate skill is based on invul and range. They're all good, but some are insane. Tokon assembles are your character's most powerful attack. In order to do one, you need your full team, your opponent needs to be 1 round away from winning the game, and you need 150 skill gauge. It's activated by pressing quick skill plus the assist button, or quarter circle forward, light plus assist. These do massive damage, over 50k raw. Tokon Assemble does not have frame 1 invul though, so they cannot be done on a wake up to a meaty button. They also lack range. You can still squeak them out in block strings though if they aren't typing. One thing I noticed is that it seems that if you wake up with Tokon Assemble and they hit you for doing that, it doesn't remove the skill gauge. I don't know why, I feel like it should. You should be punished for going for that. Maybe that's just a glitch though. That's the basics of the main universal moveset mechanics. If you want to learn more about individual characters, I do have some character guides coming out, but you can also check out ArcSys's official moveset breakdowns on the Marvel Tokon YouTube channel. Okay, let's talk about assists, assembly mechanics, and how they all work. There are 5 different assist types: slot 1 shooter, slot 2 vertical, slot 3 assault, which is basically like a unique assist, assemble rush, which you can only do on hit per block, and air assist. You can choose which teammate you want to bring out by pressing the corresponding direction to their slot and the assist button. So left plus assist, down plus assist, right plus assist, etc. Tokon is not like other tag games. You can spam your assist button and have them all come out on screen at once. Pulling assist raw costs no assembly gauge. They're invulnerable until they touch the ground, which is about 20 frames. Then they can be hit right before they do their attack. If an assist connects on the opponent's point character, a T appears above their head, which means you can press the tag button to tag into them. If you don't tag, they're standing there and they can be hit. After a bit, the tag bar will start to go down. As soon as this starts, the assist is invulnerable and cannot be hit. But you can still tag into them for a short period until the bar depletes. Another thing that could happen is like you're in the middle of a block string, but your assist is on the field behind them, and you're just mashing tag, so as soon as that little 1 frame hole comes up, you swap over, and they're invincible the whole time. The opponent whiffs because the assist is on the other side of them, and you just hit them. Another funky thing. Now, if you call an assist, it whiffs, hits the other team's assist, or the other team point's character blocks it, you will not be able to tag into them at first, meaning they're vulnerable to get hit. A little while later though, the tag bar will start to deplete like before, and you can tag. The weird thing about this is that it means you can do this sort of option select where you call your assist, do whatever you're going to do anyways, and just mash the tag button the whole time. If the assist doesn't hit them, you just do what you're doing. But if it does hit them, you automatically tag, and it gives you more time to hit confirm off it because the game freezes a little bit. Also a bit funky. I wonder if any of this funkiness with assists that I've been talking about will be changed in future patches. We'll just have to wait and see. Who knows, maybe it gets changed on launch after this video comes out. If you do tag into your assist in any of the scenarios we just talked about earlier, the screen freezes, you gain control, it unfreezes, and you can immediately act on frame 1. Let's talk about raw tagging real quick. If you just press the direction and the tag button raw, it'll choose whichever teammate you're pointing towards and tag them in directly. This takes about a total of 45 frames, and the character you tagged in is vulnerable for about 25 frames. So this is very risky if not done correctly. The way you make it less risky is by doing an attack with your point character right before pressing the button, to create pressure before the tag. Also, you have just enough time to cancel a normal into a skill before they tag in. If you roll tag in the air, your character will have lag until they touch the ground. If you do this right above the ground, there's only about 7 frames of lag after the freeze. I'm actually working on a whole video about this. It's so cool. You're gonna love it. Make sure and subscribe. If you press the tag button and then call an assist, the tagged character will just jump in and do nothing and then tag out. But it seems like they're invulnerable the whole time. But it's still wasteful and useless to do. And you can't do a raw tag if there's another assist already on the field. You can call your slot 1 shooter assist by pressing the assist button or forward in the assist button. Shooter assists are horizontal attacks that cover a majority of the bottom of the screen. Most of them are projectiles, but they don't have to be. The main purpose of this assist is to use it in neutral to help find an opening on the opponent, or after a knockdown to apply pressure for Oki. It seems to be a general rule of thumb that shooters that cover the whole screen come out slower, whereas shooters that are just a flying projectile come out quicker. And then you have slow as molasses Ghost Rider doing whatever this is. You can call your slot 2 vertical assist by pressing down in the assist button. Vertical assists are generally quick ground to air assists that cover a lot of vertical space, but not as much horizontal space. Most of them have early invul to airborne attacks. The main purpose of vertical assists is to anti-air the opponent. For some of them, it's pretty easy to confirm a hit off them and then tag in. Most, if not all of these, hit on frame 36, and honestly, some of them are quite unique. You can call your slot 3 assault assist, aka your really unique special assist, by pressing back in the assist button. Assault assists vary from character to character and have a wide range of utility. For example, Wolverine's is a short range slow attack, but it has armor that starts around frame 10. Doom's tracks you, and then when it activates covers the whole screen vertically. Penny puts out 2 of her unique robots at random. Star-Lord does is unique, and the projectile is whatever ammo the gun is currently on, so it has 4 different options. Captain America's is a counter that has a follow-up that changes based on how far you are from the opponent when you call it. Ghost Rider summons fire that tracks the opponent. Magic summons 3 huge fire pillars, so on and so forth. You can call an air-to-ground assist by super jumping or double jumping above your normal jump arc height, and choose which teammate you want to bring in by pressing the corresponding direction of their slot with the assist button. The angles of these assists vary from character to character. Some go straight down, while others almost go full screen. Some of them are physical attacks. Some of them are projectiles. And lastly, if you attack someone and while in hit stop press the assist button, without pressing any direction, you'll activate an assemble rush. In doing so, your next available assist comes in and immediately does a quick short range attack. This costs 1 assembly gauge. On hit, it causes your opponent to roll, leading to an easy follow-up combo. On block, it adds extra block stun, so you can continue pressuring. This can also be done in the air. If you press a direction in the assist button, your corresponding teammate will come out and do their normal assist, but it starts a bit faster. Still costs 1 assembly gauge, but it allows you to create some unique pressure and combos. Now that we know how all the assists work, let's talk about when you can call them and the limitations that the game puts on you. You can call an assist during any type of movement. And you can call an assist at the same time that you press a button or do a move. But if you do a move and try to immediately call an assist after, it won't come out. You can call an assist right when you do a normal, and then do a block string and tag into them later. On block, you have to wait until your assist is almost ready to dip out before tagging here though. On a side note, something that's really annoying is if you try to jab and call your assist at the same time, you'll do assembly smash. So if you want to dash and call your shooter assist at the same time, and then you jab, you just gotta make sure you let go of the assist button before pressing jab. This is where tagging comes in handy. Because you can press tag, then do a normal and cancel that normal into a skill or unique, your opponent will be in block stun when your teammate tags in. By the way, if you try to tag and then do super or whatever, it will not work. And if you try to do a command grab and then tag, the command grab's hitbox will just disappear. A lot of people have been complaining about it being hard to call assists, and I think I figured out why. Based on my research, it seems like after blocking, you can't call an assist for about 20 frames. And after a recovery state, like an air tech, a ground tech, a slow get up, it takes about 25 frames.
Okay then.
Honestly, if I was allowed to make a change, I'd make it so it just takes like 7 frames where you can't call an assist instead of 20 to 25. Right now it feels a bit sluggish, and I think this would be a good middle ground to make it less sluggish, but also not cheap. Now that we know about assists, let's talk about assemble mechanics. If you press the quick assemble button, or light plus assemble at the same time, you'll do an assemble smash. This costs 1 assemble gauge. Assemble smash has 2 hits of armor from about frames 1 to 18, and it's an overhead that hits on frame 26, so you can't block it low. On hit, your teammates come in, and you have multiple options. I'll get to that in a second. It's -5 on block, so it's unsafe. But it can't be punished, so you have to give your opponent their turn. Unless of course you're willing to spend a second assemble gauge and do an assemble rush. Assemble smash is completely invulnerable to projectiles on frames 1 to 26. It beats out many super skills, but loses to ultimate skills and Tokon assemble. And of course, it straight loses to grabs. Because it only has 2 hits of armor, it loses to multi-hits of 3 or higher.
1, a 2, a 3, a 3.
And if done correctly, 2-hit strings, like 2 jabs, will also hit it after the armor ends, but before the move hits. You can use it even when your assembly gauge is depleted. It will just make it go back to 0, and it won't combo into your teammates. They'll just bounce. That being said, in all other scenarios, on hit, 3 things could happen. 1, your second character comes out, knocks them into the air, where you hit them with your air forward hit. Mid-screen, this has slight advantage, but resets neutral. Against a soft wall, it causes a wall break transition. On hard walls, they bounce off, you'll gain 1 assembly gauge back, and go into a knockdown, which gives you time to set up Oki. The second thing that can happen is you press light plus assist again. It costs a second assembly gauge, your third character comes out and knocks them down. You swap sides, launch them in the air into a launch state, and everything I told you about launch states before applies here. And the third thing you can do is press light and assist again. It costs a third assembly gauge, your last teammate comes in and ground bounces them so you can do a combo. Because assemble smash can be done on frame 1 of wake up, has 2 hits of armor, and is invulnerable to projectiles, it's a very strong defensive mechanic. If your opponent's doing it a lot, you should approach with throws, multi-hits, or staggered attacks. Extra points if you cover yourself with an assist. Now, there's also an air version of assemble smash, which has almost the same properties, but here are the main differences. First of all, the character tracks to the opposing team's point character. Secondly, it has projectile invul from about frames 1 to 30. And most importantly, it has no armor, so it gets beat out by physical attacks. And since it's an airborne attack, it can easily be anti-aired by crouch heavy. Also, on block, it's really unsafe, super punishable. Another weird thing about it is that the tracking can be a little funky, so just keep that in mind. That being said, if your opponent is spamming projectiles and playing a hard keep away game, this is the move you want to use to get in. Now, let's talk about assemble counter. To activate an assemble counter, you can press down or back plus the quick assemble button, or down or back plus light plus assemble. Assemble counter costs 1 assemble gauge, is active from frame 1 to 20, and lasts a total of 60 frames. If it's touched by any move from frame 1 to 20, it'll activate a frame 0 counter, and your teammate will come in and knock the opponent away. Now, after your teammate knocks them away, if they tech in place, it's plus 15, so the defender gets a slight advantage, but neutral is still reset. If you tag here, you're plus 24, which puts you even closer and gives you more of an advantage. What's important to understand about this counter is that once you hit it, you cannot stop yourself from getting hit by the follow-up. When I say anything can activate it, I mean anything. Normals, skills, throws, super skills, ultimate skills, and even Tokon assemble. Of course, the downside is if the opponent baits you into doing this, they have a whole second to react to it and hit you. Just like assemble smash, you can technically call it with less than 1 assemble gauge, but if it hits, your assist won't come in and help. Same applies if you do it when assist is already out. Now, let's talk about the last assemble mechanic, crossover counter. If you press light plus assist or quick assemble while blocking, it costs 1 assemble gauge, your assist will come out on frame 1 and hit the opponent's point character no matter what. No matter where they are, as long as you have at least 1 assist available. You can do this anytime you're blocking. This is a great get off me tool, but it can be countered. If your opponent presses light plus assist or quick assemble, they'll do a crossover reflect. It costs 1 assemble gauge, and their teammate will come in and block you, giving them advantage. If they do the reflect at the very end, they'll get a perfect reflect. which causes the opposing team's point character to get put into a knockdown and become disassembled. When disassembled, you cannot call any assists or use any assemble gauge for about 8.5 seconds. It's a terrible position to be in, probably the worst in the game. The frame advantage for the person who does the reflect is based on what move they were doing when they started it, since it still has to go into cooldown. Unlike the other two assemble mechanics, you cannot do a crossover counter with less than one assemble gauge. This is where assemble gauge meter management becomes really important. If your opponent has less than one assemble gauge and is pressuring you, you can get a crossover counter for free without any issues. And if you're pressuring your opponent and you have at least one, you can be ready to go and pull out a perfect reflect on reaction. You gotta be careful though, because if you're baited into going for a crossover counter, you'll instead do an assemble counter, which as we said before is super punishable if it doesn't activate the counter. I actually have a really good video dropping on crossover counter, reflect, and perfect reflect around launch that goes into all the details, all the mechanics, and everything about it. There's so much cool stuff you can do with it. Once the video's out, I'll put a link here and you can click it. Trust me, you're gonna love it. It's really cool. I came up with a lot of really interesting and cool things you can do out of it. Before we move forward, I want to quickly explain how hitstun scaling and combos work in Marvel Tokon. I actually already made a whole video about this, so I'm just going to show you the most important parts from that video, and then afterwards update you with all the things that are different with the current build. Many fighting games have a mechanic called hitstun scaling. Mid-combo, this basically makes hitstun lower over time, so you can't just loop things over and over continuously. Marvel Tokon has little to no hitstun deterioration. Instead, they have something called the combo limit. The basic idea behind the mechanic is once you reach 10 stacks, they'll go into a combo break animation. The combo limit gauge sits right under the hitstun gauge. The hitstun gauge is an orange bar that tells you when your opponent's hitstun is about to run out after each hit. Once it moves all the way to the left and hits 0, the opponent has the option of air teching, or they can just fall to the ground. The combo limit has 3 phases: blue, dark orange, and full red. In order to start filling up the gauge, you have to hit your opponent with an attack. This gives it 1 stack. To be clear, 1 stack equals 1 move. So if you hit your opponent with an attack that has multiple hits, it still only counts as 1 stack towards the combo limit gauge. This means the hits on the combo counter won't necessarily line up with your stacks on the combo limit bar. So phase 1 takes 7 stacks for it to reach phase 2. Phase 2, the bar turns dark orange and it takes 3 stacks to hit phase 3, which is full red. So 10 stacks total. And the next attack will cause a combo break, which leads to Oki. The combo break will wait for an attack to finish before initiating. So something like a single jab will initiate it, but for a multi-hit move, the game will wait for it to finish before initiating a combo break. There are other rules for the combo limit gauge. First of all, assembly smash, grounded, or airborne add only 1 stack, no matter how many of your assists hit the opponent. EX moves count 0 stacks. Thanks, past me. Here's everything I left out. Doing an assembly rush removes 1 stack from the combo limit. Same with wall splats and wall bounces. And of course, as I said earlier, the link unique and auto combos adds 5 stacks. Air normals add 1/2 a stack to the combo limit. Air specials and uniques still add a full stack though. Hitting someone with a crouch heavy raw launcher adds 6 stacks, and if you mash one of the auto combos in the air, it won't add anything. The follow-up combo after the down bounce though will. Assemble smash 2 puts you at 8 stacks. And assemble smash 3 puts you at 5 stacks. Now, there are built-in mechanics to stop you from abusing the combo system. For example, if you do the same EX move twice in a combo, it just auto-breaks the combo. Same thing applies to things like Star-Lord's Ice Gun if you try to do it twice in a combo. And it likely applies to a lot of other moves as well. There's also a combo timer. I'm not sure how long it lasts or how many moves it is, but I think it's about 10 in-game seconds at least. So let's talk about combos. If you're a beginner, you should start with the link attacks I talked about earlier and go from there. The most important thing is to get hands-on experience with the game so your body and muscle memory starts to feel at least somewhat comfortable. Now for this next part, I forgot to record footage, so I had to simplify it quite a bit and go find stuff that fits. Apologies in advance. After getting used to doing link attack combos and having a better feel for the game, you can start moving on to basic variations of a BMB that pretty much every character has. I'm going to give you a Spider-Man variation. Basically, once you land a hit, make sure to use crouch medium or crouch heavy to eventually launch the opponent into the air. Once you do, you can jump cancel the hit, do an air medium into air forward heavy, and then jump cancel that. From there, do medium into forward heavy into heavy again, and then press heavy a second time to track to your opponent for a knockdown. Immediately press the assist button to call your assist for an assemble rush to continue the combo going. This calls for an assemble gauge. Land on the ground and dash forward. Do a standing heavy into crouch heavy to knock them up higher. Jump cancel into medium, into heavy, and then cancel that into your skill that causes wall breaks and splats. On a soft wall, this will cause a wall break, which will set up for Oki, and you'll get that assembly gauge back that you just spent. Something else you can do is get your combo limit to full red and then end with the skill that sets up best for Oki. Combo breaks go into a long animation, and the opponent goes into a knockdown state where they can't quick rise, which gives you even more time for Oki. And if you want guaranteed pressure on someone after the combo, you want to end with a super skill. These moves cause hard knockdown, which means the opponent cannot roll afterwards. They stand straight up. You can also do an ultimate skill for more damage. In general, if you want to continue a combo solo without spending assembly gauge, you'll have to use some sort of EX heavy move mid-combo to keep it going. There are way more complicated combos in this game, and each character has their own unique take. You should definitely do your character's combo trials to get a better feel. Now let's move on to the basics of mixing your opponent up once you have them in a block string. A lot of characters have a simple high-low mix-up you can do to open people up. I'm going to use Diaphone's Miss Marvel as a reference. As a note, Miss Marvel's karate chop is an overhead.
And you'll want to use it out of staggered lows to create different layers of mix on your opponent. And then you can start staggering it into crouch medium to catch them blocking high if they think you're going to go for it. If they start adapting, you can just do it raw since they'll be expecting it after a low. And if they start really adapting, you can do the fabled double EX chop.
Other characters have a similar mix. Spider-Man can hold his stand heavy to do an overhead on the second hit. He can also cancel the first hit into heavy EX Arachnid Assault, which is a low. It's a pretty solid 50-50.
Yo, shout out to Ninja87 with 100 bits once again. Thank you so much.
And lastly, some characters like Blade have really good neutral, but pretty much no mix. The way you get in with them is forcing pressure and then doing a move that has a lot of blocks done, and then tagging into your character that has mix and letting them go in.
You don't get to use the full features of the game for a while.
That's the basics of comboing and opening your opponent up. Holy crap, we are done. That's the video. I hope you can see how hard we worked on it. Me and my team put over 100 hours into it. So like, if you like the video, if you think it's really high quality, if you want to see more, you know, please share it. Like, send it to your friends that are trying to get into the game. Share it on Twitter. If someone you see on Twitter or social media ever says, hey, I'm trying to get into Tokon, what should I watch? Send them this video. So please do share the game if you could. I'm sorry, the video. And also, I want to give a shout out to the editor of this video, Thief of Light. They put in like a billion hours this last week doing this because I had to give them the footage after the beta. So the time limit was very tight than I normally would give an editor. So show them some love in the comments as well. I have a lot more awesome Marvel Tokon content coming out that you will not want to miss. So if you liked the video, consider giving it a like. If you really liked it, consider subscribing. And if you really, really liked it, consider turning on those notifications. You will not regret it. Anyways, I'm busy. I got things to do, so it's back to the lab with me. I'll see you guys next time.